Part 3 of the budget 5.3 build. Got the motor in now. Just
sort of.
Yeah, it's halfway in there. Motor mounts are getting put on there now.
Yeah, I've been waiting on some parts. Went to Napa. Tried to go ahead and order some expensive motor mounts to just get us going. Paid a lot extra for them. They came in. Turns out they were not stamped deep enough. Didn't even come close to fitting.
Missed it by that much.
So wound up grabbing some off of Rock Auto. My little brother recommended an Anchor brand he got for one of his cars.
That unit over there.
And it turns out they fit pretty good. They little off, but that's to be expected with new stuff and then aftermarket too. But they wasn't near as off as the Napa ones. They didn't even come close. Highly do not recommend. We had a water pump because my water pump was already leaking. Had a water pump, but you know, I've always been a Ford guy, and the one thing I hated about Ford was, you know, every 5 minutes they change something. Well, now that I've worked on this LS a little bit, turns out GM's done the same thing. I mean, like your Gen 3 LS, from early model, late model, you got different head bolts, different cam bearings. And now I ran into, apparently with this one being an 07 Classic, it has basically a Gen 4 water pump, not a Gen 3 water pump. So we're waiting on the water pump too. But besides that, it's coming together. Wound up getting some, I'm sure these are straight from China. I got them.
I mean, I love China. How can you not love China?
Off eBay, but
China.
Says they're GM knock sensors. Broke the knock sensors taking them out. They were super brittle.
See, they're made in Mexico. Not China.
That's what it says, but I mean, I picked up this whole kit for $45, but Rock Auto had one genuine GM for $95, so I'm not real sure on the authenticity
Man,
of these.
it's even assembled in Mexico.
So hopefully these work out right. And for you that maybe didn't catch the first part or the second part of this build, it's basically just a stock 5.3 with flat top 4.8 pistons and LS Accelerations Stage 3 camshaft. Is basically what this is going to be in the end. For now, we still got stock injectors. And I think my little brother's got a tune wrote up that he thinks will get this thing up and running.
Should start within 3 minutes.
Hopefully. That's the one thing I hate about cam to EFI is the amount of time you have to stay on the starter to get them things to start. I've never figured out if it's bad tunes or what. I mean, I've seen everybody do it. Cletus. I mean, they figure Cletus has got enough money that he's got the best tuners on his side, but I think he sent his Corvette somewhere and they finally got it where it'll start with a dang turn of the key. But you know, most of his race cars, they got a crank on them for a while. I've seen Justice 6 do the same thing on all his cars, all his Mustangs. You got to stay on the starter for seems like eternity, and I do not want that. I want this thing turnkey, fire up. I want it to be just like factory. So hopefully my little brother can punch in enough numbers to make it happen. I still haven't really caught on to the whole tuning bit yet. But that being said, we're going to keep thrashing on this thing. Hopefully by the end of this video, we'll hear this thing chopping.
Maybe. I mean, it's not like guaranteed, but
You're not going to guarantee it? Well, we got her all back together. I didn't want to bore anybody with all that. Water pump ain't going to show up for a couple more days, so with these being how they are, I just went ahead and threw my old one back on. Yeah, it weeps a little bit, but we just filled it up with water, just so I'm not wasting any coolant or anything. And maybe it'll kind of flush the whole system at the same time, flush some of that crud out of that block, and we'll be able to drain it back when I get my new water pump. Little brother's over here getting ready to slap his tune in.
Oh, what?
Larry, what the hell are you doing?
Larry! Larry, you can't just... Oh, Larry! Oh, are you all right? How did... Larry!
Maybe he can kind of tell you what he's got going on.
Alright, for this tune, this thing was a 4/8, so this tune file is a little different. So I just went ahead and got a 5.3 tune out of the tune repository from HP Tuners, and went ahead and copied all the engine things, like the displacement, idle, airflow, all that stuff. For all the settings for the cam, I just did everything I'd seen a guy on YouTube. He makes a couple tuning videos and stuff. I just did everything he did on that deal just to get this thing started and get it lined out from the base. Alright, first thing off, change this cranking VE here. Took 20% off of this unit, off the whole entire table for the cranking VE. On airflow versus frequency, went ahead and went over here to 7,000 hertz, added 7% all the way up to the very end, and interpolated all the way down to pretty sure it's 56 or 55, interpolated in between the bounds between them two to smooth it over, and then it keeps your mass airflow line looking like this still.
And then you just up the idle a little bit.
Yeah, up the idle 200 from factory, and then I put in MAF air only mode wherever that unit is. Oh, there's so many options. Okay, it might have been over here. Oh, it's over here. Oh no, oh, it's over here.
Anyways, without all the rambling on, it looks like he's about ready to upload this tune, and then we're gonna give this thing a spin over. Alright, it's uploaded, tune's in it. Guess we're gonna hit the starter and see what happens. They probably don't have fuel up here. He's gonna turn over for a second. Got oil pressure? It ain't got a cam. Huh?
Got the cam in it. I think you might put the stock one back in there.
It's got good oil pressure.
Still idle down there. Man, this radio just don't want it on though.
Listeners don't sound happy. She's definitely rich. Alright guys, I had to abort that. I told him to give it a little gas, noticed right away it was missing. Forgot to plug the coil packs in on the passenger side bank there. So let's try that one more time. Might sound a little better this time. Might actually have a cam this time. Sounds a little better. Still no cam, but it sounds better. Oh, it's trying to get it a cam. Repainted my headers while we had them off, so it's gonna smoke pretty good for a while. It's not fully tuned, but it's running on the tune he threw in it. Everything sounds good. No knocking, no clanging, no banging. Revved it a few times. Nothing came through the side of the block. So I guess everything's all right.
Okay.
Them AC Delco knock sensors have already thrown the code, so I guess I'm gonna go buy some real ones.
What do you mean? Those are real. The stickers say they in Mexico and everything.
Yeah, good effort with the stickers, but I don't think both of them be faulty if they're actually name brand, but it says both of them are faulty.
Hey.
I'll take you around here and let you hear the exhaust. It doesn't chop like I thought it would, but it could be in the tune. I gotta say, that was...
Turn that all down to 400 and give it like no timing.
I was pretty impressed how it started right off the bat, even though we didn't have one bank of coils hooked up. After we hooked the other one up, I'm impressed on how fast it starts. You know, a lot of the cam vehicles I see, they just stay on the starter forever, and they have to play with the throttle and this, that, and the other, but none of that on this deal. Take you around here and you can hear what little chop it does have. Really just kind of leaving the tune alone. Play it safe until we get some knock sensors in it, some real ones, and then we can start doing a little tuning. Probably don't sound as choppy because it's not that clapped out exhaust on most of these things. Most of that clapped out exhaust you see on them squatted trucks. But if any of you guys out there are interested in LS content, this being my first one, I don't know this a whole lot yet. I don't know all the little tips and tricks and all that good stuff, but you know, there's lots of good little channels out there like Ed's Garage 99. You got 4low_DIY, Blue Collar Hot Rods. You know, 615's about to do an LS swap. 615 Customs. You got Blue Ridge Holla. He's working on a 6-liter. He's gonna put in a Denside F100. So there's a lot of LS stuff out there going on. You can get information on about any of it. If you just look a little bit, other than just all the big dogs out there that are doing it or paying somebody else to do it for them. I'm not really too much into them guys too much anymore. I mean, once you get so much money, you just start paying people to do it. You kind of lose your roots and lose where you're kind of going with things. But I think that's going to do it for this video, guys. It's definitely a success. You know, we cut some corners on a few things like push rods and stuff like that, straight from China.
How can you not love China?
You know, it kind of bit us on the knock sensors, but push rods,
No, there's no check engine light for right now.
well, maybe the knock sensors threw that code because that bank was unhooked, but knock sensors might come around, hopefully. I don't want to take the intake off again. I will be pulling the water pump again in a few days just to put the new one on, since this one is leaking. We turned the temperature down on the fans so they come on sooner. I'd been thinking it was my converter that was slipping, like in drive-thrus and stuff, heating up, but it's actually the fans were never coming on. They were set way too hot for some reason.
They're set at 230.
I don't know why they're that hot, but maybe that's what GM likes. But I never even noticed they weren't coming on. I just thought they were super quiet, but that definitely wasn't the case. But that's it for this video, guys. We appreciate everybody watching. Until next time, we'll catch you later.